Hey, happy Monday. What's up with you? What's good in your world? Are you living la vida loca or just getting by? I hope that this day finds you well, excited, full of passion and energy for a whole new week. Hey, I'm very happy to be connected with you. I missed speaking to you last weekend because that whole bronchitis thing, it was not very fun and it was feeling pretty icky. So I didn't get to come on Friday like I wanted to, but I'm here now for you. How was your weekend? Hey Shelly, Ingrid, salut Romeo. How's everyone doing? I am really inspired because this is a busy week for me, once again, I know. What's new? Quoi de neuf? Rien, Trevor. You know, it's a new week. That's what's new. It's a big week for me. I'm heading to Copenhagen for the Women's Entrepreneurship Day, and I'm really looking forward to being back in Denmark. It just so happens that this weekend, Sienna and I will be able to enjoy the Christmas lights and the Christmas village at Tivoli. I need to pull this thing. Sorry if I make a bunch of noise here, guys. So I'm heading to Women's Entrepreneurship Day, and I'm excited because it's a subject near and dear to my heart, empowering women to kick butt, to get out of the ruts that we are often finding ourselves in, and really just to step up. And I wanted to ask you this question, and mainly because I've been going within. I've shared with many of you my love for traditional Chinese medicine and looking at the five elements of Chinese medical theory, which describe the influences on us: wood, water, metal, fire, earth. You know, we look at how they impact us, and it can tell you a lot about, you know, the things that normally affect you and affect everyone, but most importantly, what makes you vulnerable to maybe stress or breakdown. And two of my dominant energies are wood, and the other is water. So wood is associated with springtime. It's when we feel that sense of growth and innovation and drive, and, you know, it's all about growth. And I guess you can tell that's really me. But I've noticed since, you know, the changing of the clocks, I'm going within. And it's when this winter, this water element really takes over for me that I go introspective. And with Sienna last week, we were celebrating my birthday and just kind of looking over the year, as I often do, to see, okay, what have I accomplished in this year of living, and what's on the horizon? And because it is going into this winter, this introspective mode, this is a time when I check myself, you know, I look at, did I really fulfill on the commitments that I made throughout the year? Did I, you know, push myself? Did I grow in the areas that I wanted to? And Sienna was kind of like, Mom, you need to celebrate more. Of course, you know, she's a kid, so we always celebrate a lot on her birthday, and she gets gifts coming from the relatives from multiple continents and countries and time zones. And she said, you need to really celebrate more. You're doing so much for people. And I recognize that, but my life is really about serving my peeps. That sounded really cheesy. Okay, but y'all know what I mean, I hope. Like, Sienna knows that I wake up every day excited about my job and excited about my life. I don't work a typical 9 to 5. I don't work for any corporation or company. And as I think back on it, I don't think I could ever do that again. I take on corporate clients, but I can't imagine working in that grind. It doesn't fit me. And I've had to really come to terms with that over the years. Now, of course, I'm fine with it now, but it took a process to get to a point of really just accepting myself and accepting that I don't fit into anybody else's box. I don't fit into any societal paradigm. And I'm finding that it's the same with my daughter. So we've decided to homeschool, or we're moving in that direction. And it's like, when we really think about what impacts us, it's that ability to know yourself and to accept yourself so that you can adapt to life. And the reason I keep bringing up the 5 elements, and if you haven't found out which of the 5 elements are your dominant influence, then visit thevitalitytest.com. Totally free. One of my friends, my colleague, Nick Haynes from the 5 Institute, created this totally free assessment that will help you figure out. And then the report will give you an insight into how these energies impact us. And I'm bringing all of that up to say that moving from my dominant wood energy, where I'm out there and I'm expressing and I'm charging forward and I'm creating new plans, into this phase where I'm, really tapping into that water element, which is where we go introspective and go deep. And water is that element that really wants to leave its mark on the world. I mean, go figure. My company is called Make Your Mark Global. But it's also this time where I draw my energy within, from the earth, from the cosmos, to really get clear on, okay, after all the busyness of the year, am I really living my purpose, or am I just in scramble mode? Because running a publishing company, a media agency, and being a single mom, you get to be in hustle and scramble mode a lot. Okay, I do. Maybe not anybody else. But it's really made me go deep and really think about the impact that I'm having on my clients, on my child, on the world. And one of the things that's inspired me just today is one of my friends, Bea Benkova. Hi, Camilla. Bea Benkova is the founder and CEO of the Global Institute for Extraordinary Women. For those of you that saw me at Expert Empires in London earlier this year, then you know that I shared a bit of her story. Bea has made such a strong impact in my life, and she says the feeling is mutual. I've impacted her as well. But just this week, she launched the Global Social Change Summit. It's totally free to participate. And this year's theme, I was with them last year in the summit, and this year's theme is about transforming nations, which sounds like so huge, right? Like, how can we make a difference to a nation? Especially coming from a nation that really needs a little transformation right now, America. But one of the things that I'm so inspired by Bea and her mission with the Global Institute for Extraordinary Women, and now with this Global Social Change Summit, is recognizing that we do matter. Every one of us matters. And when we tap into who we really are and the contribution we want to make on the earth, then we're called to actually declare it, like make a stand for what you want to see in this world. Now, my particular phase right now is about empowering you, empowering individuals, women, small groups of healers, light workers, transformational teachers, because as I can help empower them and raise their vibration, their consciousness, and their ability to communicate and get their message out to the world, or get their products out to the world, then I'm not just helping one or several people, I'm impacting millions. Because I stand for raising the level of consciousness and love on the planet. And when I first took that on, I remember talking to Bea, and this is a few years ago, and one of the things that Bea is really beautiful at is really helping to create a platform or a space, a listening for you to declare who you are. And we, I think this must have been in 2012 or 2013, we sat down and we were talking about what we were up to in the world. So if you think, that's like 5 years ago. And Bea said, look, I'd like to kind of revamp some things with my brand. Now, as soon as you start asking me about your brand, y'all know what I do. Whew, it's like I can't turn it off. I go into that visionary mode. I start to see, I dive into your soul, your essence, your talents, your potential. And then, of course, I'm listening to what you actually say and figuring out, wow, how can you manifest that in the world to have that extraordinary impact that you want to have? So when Bea said that she wanted to up her game with her brand, I saw a vision that was so huge that I was almost kind of like, is this for real? Am I making this stuff up? And I could see Bea. Gosh, wow, it really was like 5 years ago. I could see her interacting with heads of state, with like presidents, with diplomats. And it was like, wow. And when I shared it with her, she had tears in her eyes because she hadn't really ever voiced that to someone else, but she was feeling it as well. Now, she had already started GIFU, the Global Institute for Extraordinary Women, which was already coaching women on a high level. And I won't spoil the story because I'll probably share it again in Copenhagen this weekend at Women's Entrepreneurship Day. But fast forward, to today, and Bea's doing it. She is literally interacting with presidents. I mean, she was working with the now president of Slovakia, her home country. And it's just impacted me because one of the things she did for me at that time, 5 years ago, was she allowed me to voice and express some of my big visions. Now, I don't always tell people that because I think some people think, oh, it's just ego. But I have these big visions. And thank you, Michael, for saying you stand with making a difference in the lives of others, because that's what I stand for. But one of the things my mother told me, and it still echoes in my head, is never underestimate the impact that you could have on someone's life, even without speaking a word. When you walk into a room, can people feel your presence even before you open your mouth? Or when you leave a room, are they glad you're gone? Like, we have an impact. Our energy, our essence, our thoughts, our intentions, all of it has an impact. And that's going from the very small. That's going from you not even saying anything, just your intention or your heart. But what happens when you do open your mouth to speak to someone? Are you speaking love and life and light into their life? Or are you just bad-mouthing or gossiping or talking about the drama of the day? Like, you can have an impact. Even if you think it's small, just recognize that if you're serving a meal, serving that meal with love, embracing that person with love. What's up, Helena? I'm embracing you with love, and happy birthday to Sander. See you on Friday, Margarita and Helena. If we can embrace each other with love, doing whatever it is we're doing, when you send that email, hit send with love. When you wave to someone, greet them from the heart with love. Now, I know that sounds, I don't know, how does that sound? Leandra says, love it, good. Because what I recognized is by being the change we wish to see in the world, we actually can make a difference. And I think we got programmed early on to think that we didn't matter, that our voice was just one little voice in a sea of noise. But the reality is, when we step up, it inspires and empowers other people to step up. So that means that collectively we have even more power. Now, one of the people that Bea interviewed for the Global Social Change Summit is Lynne McTaggart. And I love, love, love Lynne's work. She's the New York Times bestselling author of The Bond, The Intention Experiment. Her latest book is The Power of 8. And it is just fun to listen to Lynne, because I remember when I first discovered her work, you know, we have in common that we were both sort of these journalist types. But she firmly states that she never wanted to be associated with woo-woo, and she would debunk anything out there that she could. And little by little, as she's done work with the intention experiment and the field and the bond, and now the power of 8, she's recognized that our intention, our coming together as groups, can be transformational, even without words. So when I see all of what's going on around us, especially at this time when I am going deep within and wondering, am I making a difference in the world? Am I truly living my purpose? Am I living my dharma? Or am I just, you know, in hustle mode? It reminds me that everything that I do, if I'm doing it with love, if I'm doing it with the intention to serve and uplift and inspire, then that's aligned with my spiritual purpose, I believe. But I want you to consider it as well, because sometimes I think getting on here on Facebook Live and on YouTube, it's just kind of like, maybe it's fluff. But this is time that we're spending together. And I want you to recognize that the time that you spend with me, the time you spend with yourself, can come from a place where you're really connecting in with the self, like that higher self, that part of you that knows that we're all connected. There's a reason why we spend this time together 2-3 times a week. It's because in this connection, in this bond, in this field, we uplift one another, we support one another, we see one another. And as much as social media can be divisive, it can be a tool that breaks people up, literally. It can be a tool that blocks intimacy, but it can also be a tool for us to truly connect. But it all comes back to intention. It all comes back to you tapping into who you are and what you want to see in your life and in the world. So as I'm getting ready to bring out this new book, the lovely Sarah Kate is in the book, and so many, okay, there's 29 authors. I can't name you all right today. But Romeo Cornal, you're also in the book. This is a project where sharing the voices and the stories and the perspectives of people who have dug deep and found that human spirit or that divine spirit that inspired them to make a change. When we see these stories or hear these stories and share these stories, it reminds us that we're greater than what the rhetoric is pointing to. You are greater than what the media would kind of paint and portray us as. And all of these old structures, these old paradigms from the financial, the political, the social structures, the misogynistic culture, all of that is breaking down because it's time. It has lived its life very aggressively and it's over. And as we usher in this new era of living with compassion, embracing these feminine values, you know, it's, as Lynn Twist calls it, it's the Sofya Century. This next 100 years when women are stepping into our rightful place as co-equal partners with men. It's not this, chauvinistic push them out of the way. It's let us be partners. Let us embrace the energies within us. So many women saw the pendulum swing too far into the realm of being very masculine to prove, it's that post-war, I can do what a man can do and, I don't need a man. The pendulum swung over there. It stayed there long enough. And now it's time for us to come back to the middle way, where we women once again embrace the yin energy, our feminine values of collaboration, cooperation, compassion, and men too. It's not a matter of edging out the men. It's a matter of us recognizing that we are one, we are whole, and when we embrace that wholeness, that's when our power is multiplied. But it's not that power that exerts by force. It's the power that aligns with the force. Okay, now this is really starting to sound a little crazy. Y'all know how it is on a Monday. But this is really what's flowing through me at the moment. I just feel this new sense of, I don't know, alignment with, just rechecking in with my purpose. What am I doing here? I don't want to come each and every week kind of just doing the same old same, and I don't want you to do the same either. So I'm going to ask you to do this little experiment, and that is, can you experiment this week before I see some of you in Copenhagen, for example, and set the intention that you're going to make a difference in one person's life. And I mean, you don't have to make it visible. It could be a random act of kindness where you do something for someone that they don't even know you've done it. It could just be you sending a silent wish or a prayer that someone feel better or be better. But make it your intention to make one person's life better. And not someone that you always do, like your kids or your spouse, but like really just making it your business to care. Because when we can kind of get out of our own daily drama and grind, where we're taking care of ourselves, our home, our people, and extend that branch of kindness and compassion to someone else, that's when we can tap into this extraordinary capacity that we have as humans for transforming. So does your voice matter? Absolutely. Like, how many people have you heard who've shared a story about someone who was going to commit suicide, and one person happened to smile at them, or one person happened to say hello when they passed them on the street, and just that look of recognition, that recognizing that that person exists and matters, was enough for them to not commit suicide. Now, there are probably countless things that you've done already that people don't send you an email or type you a little message on Facebook to say thank you. But that's okay. You don't actually have to know that it's making that difference. It's your intention. And as I've been listening to the audiobook, The Power of Eight, from Lynne McTaggart, I loved getting to the end where she talked about this rebound effect. And I know, Trevor, yes, you are down for making a difference in a person's life. So this rebound effect is what, many of us in the sort of Buddhist world have seen with this idea of compassion. I think the Dalai Lama has said it best. If you want others to be happy, practice compassion. If you want to be happy, practice compassion. There's something that happens that now Lynn and her fun little scientific brain have actually measured. It's that when we put ourselves out there for someone, even with just an intention or a prayer or a feeling, a desire, a longing that someone else feel better or not suffer, we get a rebound effect that lifts us up. And that also makes us feel like life is worth living. And that is what reminds us that we do matter. And that is what reminds you that your voice matters, your presence matters, your whole life matters. And it's just sometimes that one shift in perspective that can change everything for you. For me, it's changed everything about the way I do business. No longer am I chasing after contracts or dollars or showing off to, tell people what I've done or accomplished. It's very mission specific and it's energy specific. Now, on the outside, maybe some people haven't noticed, it's, a company doing great things. But what my clients tell me and what my daughter is now witnessing is she's seeing the power of it. So I think sometimes in the world of marketing and media, I'm hosting this radio show and doing videos and speaking on stages. A lot of people can see it's posturing, it's ego, and it's, show business. But on the inside of the energy transformation that happens within me and into the crowd It's what keeps me going. And I guess it's kind of selfish, because when I practice this way, I don't get tired. Okay, I had a little bronchitis after being on an airplane, but other than that, I have been, in some ways, going at it all year. But I haven't been run down, I haven't been tired, I haven't been, miserable. It's just been this joy of giving and giving and giving. And I think the beautiful Helena Goldstein was like, "You're giving so much, what can we give to you?" And I'm like, I'm already getting it. It is that rebound effect of practicing meditation and compassion, really coming from your heart with this intention to lift someone else up. It lifts us all up. So I want you to try this as an experiment. And I have decided that I really want us all in this community to take on this idea of getting into these groups of 8 and doing some of these intention experiments. I love the way that Lynne has written about it. It's something that I've done with my private clients, but why not do it with a global audience on social media and in the media? And it's just something that I'll share in the next couple of weeks. Thank you, Maureen. Lovely to see you. And Helena. But I think this idea of being able to send each other energy and love. Do you guys remember a few months ago, my best friend from childhood, Allison, was on with us, and she was saying that she was having some health issues, and we together decided to send her healing energy. Now, I've been doing this Qigong thing for years and years and years, and it's so funny that now people are able to do the same kind of sending energy, sending chi, sending healing that has a measurable, palpable impact without all the hours of practice. That's because we all have the power, and when we come together with this group intention, we can, we can truly change the world. So Camilla, I'm so glad that you're still doing the compassion as a daily practice. Wonderful. And Maureen, you never have to apologize for emojis over here. I am the queen of emojis. I was joking with Sienna. There was some LinkedIn article that came through asking, saying something like, if you put emojis in your work email, you're going to be considered less professional. I'm like, well, I guess you can call me an unprofessional woman because I am the queen of emojis. To me, an emoji, you know what my thing is. Emotion is just energy in motion. And emojis are my other way of transmitting emotion to you guys. So when I put out my nerd emoji, you know what energy I'm broadcasting, right? Well, anyway, my friends, I'm super excited to connect with you today, and I hope that you have just at least gotten one little idea about how you can make a difference in the world. And I think as you get into this experiment and this practice, it can transform the way you look at your work and your life, so that even if you don't change your job or change your marriage or your partner, you can still transform the experience of it by deepening it. And it doesn't have to be a huge shift on the outside. It can be something that you shift from the inside that ends up making all the difference in the world. So I hope that you will take on this experiment. And for those of you that I will see in a few days' time, I look forward to it. Can't wait. I'm looking forward to the cold of Copenhagen. And yeah, that's my story. I'm sticking to it. When does the book come out, Camilla? Which one? So Time to Rise, which has 29 authors who are sharing their personal stories. That comes out in December. A few of my authors were a little late on getting in their stories. Still waiting for some final stories back from the editor. But that will be coming out in December, so before Christmas. And there's one of our authors who just joined. Hey, Katrina. So Time to Rise will be out in December. And then my book, I Love You Me, which is my memoir, which takes you through my journey from depression to finding real self-love within. That's coming out in January. But I will be offering pre-sales on that book in the next few weeks and inviting some people to come along on a journey with me there around real self-love. So stay tuned, Camilla. And yes, I will be bringing the warm jacket and the mitts and the scarves and everything to Copenhagen, especially because I'll be joining the beautiful Lisa on Saturday, I think, at Tivoli. At Tivoli, which I know is going to be super packed, but really looking forward to that. So yes, Vaughn, check the replay. Everyone, I hope that you have a fabulous week. I will do my best to be here with you on Wednesday. Friday, I will be flying to Copenhagen, so I will not be on. Have a wonderful week. Be good to yourselves. Be good to our planet. And hey, if you have questions, send me a message. Much love. Bye.